You know, it's been a while since we've done a club guide. About 3 months almost. So let's go ahead and do a club guide for a club that I've been wanting to do for a little while now, and one that's been going through a little bit of turmoil in world football at the moment. Derby County. A club who have been in administration since September 2021. Can you save Derby County from relegation to League One and potential further financial ruin? Hello and welcome back to another FM22 Club Guide, this time with Derby County. My name is Craig, and in today's video we're going to be going through a club who are going through a lot of financial difficulties and upheaval in the English Championship, and that of course is a club that has a lot of history in English football, a fallen giant if you will, who could potentially still fall even further into the football abyss. Derby County. Now, just taken over on Football Manager, and it says it in the breaking news story as it is. They're a club expecting to battle against relegation this season, following a 21-point deduction in the Championship. So that's what you're going to be starting on when you take over at Derby County, minus 21 points. So already straight off the bat, you've got yourself a huge struggle. Let's have a look then. 3-star reputation for the club. Media prediction 24th. I wonder why. Minus 21 points might be a good reason and why that's probably predicted. But as you can see, huge history in English football. Two-time Football League champions. Ignore the fact it says Premier League. It is Football League champions that they were back in the 70s. One of them under the late great Brian Clough. Former FA Cup winner as well. They've won Tier 2 several times, among a few other trophies that they've picked up throughout their whole history. Of course, as you start the save, you will be starting in administration. Now, what usually happens, I found this with Wigan Athletic in FM22, you'd start in administration and then chances are you might get a takeover, or chances are you will get a takeover at some point early on in the save. And that usually wipes out the debt. But what won't be wiped out is the fact that you will have minus 21 points. That's pretty much set in stone, and you're going to have to battle against that in order to try and avoid relegation. Your fiercest rivals, of course, Nottingham Forest, just to add a little bit of flavour to the fact Brian Clough was your previous manager. I say previous manager, this is like 40 years ago that was. Your best 11, we're going to come to the squad in just a moment. Your captain, Tom Lawrence, I'm going to take a guess of several of these players no longer play for Derby County in real life. I know Phil Jagielka doesn't. David Marshall doesn't neither. They both left in January, but they're going to still be around, of course, at the beginning of your save. Whether they'll still be there when the season starts is up to you and the board. Now, we're just going to go through the club vision here before I accept it when we actually start the main game. Fight bravely against relegation. So, loosely translated, you're not going to get sacked if you go down. Make a fist of it. Make a fight of it at the very least. But if you go down, you go down. You've got a lot of points to make up in the meantime, and just be competitive in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So not too much expected from the board, except work within the wage budget and develop players using the club's youth system. Yeah, that's because you're under a transfer embargo as well, so you won't be able to actually bring any players in. You've kind of got no choice with regards to transfers. Right, so we just got to the main inbox here at Derby County. We've taken charge. People raising eyebrows at me taking charge, of course. Here we go, transfer embargo. After the club failed to pay the players' wages. Oh, yeah. That kind of adds into the whole financial difficulty aspect. The Players Association have been forced to step in. I've not seen this in FM before. Mainly because I try and avoid this where possible. Apply recommended action to all. I'm surprised you're able to actually offer contracts, although they've already been offered anyway, so yeah, you don't have to worry too much about that. We'll create the tactic in a little bit, just so we go through where the players are more than likely to be able to actually play, what tactics may actually suit this current squad. Because let's face it, this current squad you have now, unless the board sell players underneath you, you're going to be starting with this squad. We're going to accept the current vision. We've already gone through it and it's pretty acceptable. They're looking to sell the club basically there's no 5-year plan at the moment, because what's the point if the board are not going to be sticking around? What's the point of having a vision at the moment? Your only real task is to try and avoid relegation if possible, otherwise you're just going to go straight down anyway. Let's just have a look at those finances, of course. And the club, 3 million in debt, no transfer budget, and you have 0 wage budget. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, no wage budgets. You've got no money to do anything. Not even offer any, not even any loans or any contracts. You've got a net debt of 55 million and a transfer debt of 5.8. Looks like the boards have already taken out a state loan, 215,000 a month that'd be payable, about 26 million. So 46 million pounds worth of repayments over the next 10 years. Wow. Okay, so this is something that's going to be ongoing for the long term, unless someone comes in, takes over, and just wipes all of that out. Oops, let's just have a quick look at the projections. Projections apparently not looking that bad, so I'm quite surprised. Not at the end of the current season, but apparently up to 27 million. I'm going to guess that's dependent on you surviving from League One. Basically, don't get relegated and it will look okay. Wages aren't going to be going up. If anything, they'll probably be going down if players are sold underneath you. So let's just go and take a look at this squad while we're on the subject of wages. So here we are on the squad screen, and already my eyes have just been drawn to the morale. I mean, good grief. Let's have a look at this. Wow, abysmal, extremely poor. Yeah, this will. I know they're on holiday at the moment before pre-season, but this is going to need some serious work before you start the season. How long until you actually start? 7th of August, right? So you have basically a month. Huddersfield twice, okay. But yeah, a lot of it is going to be very young players as well. About half the squad are either very young players or fairly aging players as well, actually. Phil Jagielka, David Marshall, both of them are not around at Derby in real life anymore. They've both been moved on. I'm not too sure which other players have also gone as well. Financial irregularities at Derby County really hit the club very, very hard. And it's very plain to see with the fact that the club in real life has been completely stripped of a lot of its players. It kind of says how well Wayne Rooney is doing with that squad at the moment. They're not even bottom of the championship, so well done to them so far. Can you do a better job though? With this squad, potentially you could. Phil Jagielka is your best player, 4-star accountability player. Mentally, he's going to be one of the strongest players at the club. He's not too bad technically either for a central defender. He's only 5'11" though, but he carries a wealth of experience, a wealth of Championship and Premier League experience. He's only just joined Derby County as well. That's rather interesting. So he lasted about 6 months at Derby, and now he's no longer there. Interesting. But at 38 years old, he probably won't be lasting that long. So I say you'll need to replace him. You can't. You can't straight away. Christian Bielik is going to be your second best player, although he is injured at the moment. Oh, 5 to 6 months. Oh, damaged cruciate ligaments. Yeah, don't rely on him for the moment. Jason Knight, 20 years old. He's also out for up to 3 months. What's going on? That's 2 of your 4 best players who are out for several months. Graham Shinney at 29 years old, central midfielder or defensive midfielder. 3.5-star accountability, 29-year-old Scottish international. He's been playing for Derby for a couple of years, coming down from Aberdeen. So he's going to be a player who you'll probably be relying on in the Championship, certainly in the middle of midfield. And if you play with, say, for example, 4-3-3, we'll come to tactics in a little bit anyway. He's someone who you'll probably want to be utilising as that defensive midfielder. He's very good mentally. Physically, he's going to be decent at this level as well. Technically, actually, quite strong in a lot of areas, including tackling, his marking. Concentration's decent. He's got a lot of aggression, though. Be careful, he's going to be picking up quite a few cards this season. Overall, the ability of the squad is quite well-rounded, as well as what are the wages saying? I mean, there's a lot of players on high wages. Tom Lawrence, £30,000 a week. His contract runs out next summer. I wouldn't expect that to be renewed anytime soon. Looks like he's going to be one of your strongest players in attacking midfield. certainly as a winger or attacking midfielder. But yeah, either players are going to be sold underneath you or they're going to be retiring fairly quickly. I mean, you've got 3 players who are 36, 36 and 38, and they're good players as well. They're some of your strongest players in the squad. But the key thing here is, if obviously you've got no transfers, try and sort out the morale as quickly as is humanly possible. Be aware that some of your highest paid players are probably going to be sold under you by the board, and you might want to try and bring up some of the youngsters. In fact, we're going to go straight to the development centre. It's not something I do at the start of a club guide, but it's something that I think is going to be very, very important, certainly for your first season at Derby County. So there's a few players here with some decent potential. Let's have a look. 4.5-star potential player here. Liam Thompson, 19-year-old English central midfielder, 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He is currently wanted by some League 2 clubs on loan. So whether you want to send him out on loan, completely up to you. I would say try and utilise him in your squad. You'll probably need to do that this season. He hasn't played any games for you yet. He is currently at Vanarama National League standards, but he's got potential to be in the Championship. So if you want to blood him in the Championship this season, now is as good a time as any, especially as your best midfielder, Christian Bielek, is going to be out for several months. So might be worth giving him a few cup games here and there just to try and rotate your squad. Let's see, what's his most promising pros here? Counts towards minimum of 8 players trained by Derby. Yep, that's fine. He's a physical player. You're going to need that in the Championship. Works really hard for the team. Yeah, he's got a good work rate on him, which is always going to be useful in the middle of the park. He does lack game intelligence, and again, he's at National League standards. So be very careful about that. He probably won't be performing very well in the Championship yet. Ivan Kashin, I think that's how you say his name, a 19-year-old young centre-back, another 5'11" player, but then if that's fine for Phil Jagielka, it'll be fine for Kashin. 2-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He has been loan listed. He's come through Derby's ranks as well, not played a game for them yet. Another player who's National League standard with Championship potential. To be fair, if you do go down with Derby County, you go to League 1, some of these players probably are going to be helping you out in League 1 because they might actually be able to do a job for you down there. Especially if you do send them out on loan in the first season. They get that experience, come back in League 1 if you go down. And I think that's when you're going to see a lot of growth from them. He's considered a leader. He's good in the air. Handles 5'11", he's good in the air. And he handles himself in a professional manner. So he's a fairly professional player. A bit of a leader for you, even at 19 years old. I think this is a player who is possibly one to watch for the future if you're going to do a sort of glory run with Derby County. Bring them back from the ashes, if you will, of League 1, if you go down. There are a good few. Bobby Duncan, he is someone who is definitely a player who's going to come good at Championship level. I kept seeing this guy's name around in FM21. He was always doing a job in the Championship, either for Derby County or another team. Yeah, he's another one who's National League standard, but he's more than likely going to reach that Championship standard. So again, if you go down to League 1, this player is going to be someone you want to bring in and do a job for you down there. But certainly he's got good finishing. He's a striker, in case you're wondering, just in case I forgot to mention that. 20 years old, 2-star current ability, only 3.5-star potential, but I would seriously consider using him. He's an ambitious player as well, so when does his contract run out? You've got him tied down till 2023, so, and you have an optional contract extension by the club for 1 year, so you could hold on to him until 2024 unless you want to cash in on him by that point. But if he develops even more, that price tag is going to be going way up for them, for you. So utilise him if possible. So if not this season, utilise him next season. So a few players that you could bring through from your development centre. Again, you can't bring in transfers, so definitely make use of your youth players who are going to be possibly saving you, especially those with 4.5-star potential ability. Those who could be Championship standard, try and help them develop, help them grow, because even if they don't make it, you can then try and sell them on for that nice bit of profit and try and get Derby County out of the financial difficulties that it finds itself in. Okay, I've just set up quick tactics, setting them up as per what the assistant manager is actually recommending for Derby County and the squad that they actually have. And the first one that was recommended was a sort of control possession, which you may or may not want to use for a club that's predicted to finish in the relegation zone in the Championship. But certainly it makes use of the fact that you've got some good centre-backs, particularly in Jagielka, Curtis Davis. Bear in mind they're both in their 30s, so stamina-wise, may not be the best. In fact, let's just have a look. What's his stamina? Yeah, Davis, 9 on stamina. 11 stamina on Jagielka is not too bad, but Richard Stearman is probably going to be your best one. 11 is not too bad as well. He's also 33 years old, so a very aging defence that I would say you need to try and sort out, but you can't. You've only got one youngster who's promising in your development squad who will probably be able to step in, and he's 19 years old with no experience whatsoever. A sweeper keeper, of which you have about 3 at the club, so 3 of your 25 players you're taking on at the moment will all be goalkeepers, and they can all play sweeper keeper, so that will probably be the step that you will want to take with them. Use of wing backs, they could just easily fall into fullback if necessary as well, so you're well covered for wide players, especially on the wings. And going forward, I think you only have maybe 2 strikers, Sam Baldock, of course, and the injured Kazim Richards. Jack Stretton as well can also play up front, but they're both injured. 2 to 3 weeks and 2 to 4 months. Another long-term injury. Good grief, what is going on? You can see down here at the bottom, I think it's right behind my head. Yeah, you have about 7 players injured if you take over at Derby. That is pretty grim. You've got 18 fit players at the moment. Oh yeah, you need that takeover to come through as quickly as possible. Other tactics you could employ are a fluid counter-attack, which is probably more suited for Derby County at this point. Louis Sibley would go in at attacking midfield. He's another player of yours who will be very important, I think, this season. 19-year-old attacking midfielder. 3-star current ability with that 5-star potential. I think he's already no, he's not a Championship standard. He's League 1 standard, but with Premier League potential. So give him the game time. He's already been having that as well at Derby. So give him the game time, he'll develop. And if a Premier League club comes in for him with decent money, yeah, you either be forced to sell him, or you may just want to take the money and run and try and invest that elsewhere if you can, as long as you're not under a transfer embargo. Very technical player. He looks better than League 1. I don't know why he's League 1 standard, but never mind, it'll be useful for your squad anyway. And the third tactic is a Catenaccio, something I have not seen or used in FM ever. In fact, let's just do a quick pick here. But again, if you are under the cosh from a lot of good Championship clubs, this might be something, especially for protecting a 1-0 lead, might be something you want to utilise. Basically going full Italian. But otherwise, a control possession or fluid counter-attack might be your best bet at Derby County until you're able to bring in players who will be able to play the system that either you want to play or a system that will just complement Derby County. Full stop. Let's just quickly go over to competition, and in the Sky Bet Championship, a confirmation, minus 21 points. You're not even the only team on minus points. Reading have minus 6. Violation of budget rules. Yikes, that's a bit harsh. But yeah, administration for Derby, 21 points. It's not looking good for them, is it? Predicted to finish rock bottom of the league. I think that makes sense. Is there another Bulldog in the league? Yeah, Sheffield United's George Bulldog. Never mind. But this is what the media are saying about your club. And by the looks of it, they're saying a 4-3-3 might be the best for you. But I'm just going with what the assistant manager recommends for our squad at the moment. As far as transfers go, possible transfers, obviously you can't do any at the moment, transfer embargo. But again, bear in mind you may get a takeover early in the save. This happened again FM21 when I took over at Wigan Athletic. It may happen again here at Derby County. Just be prepared that it might not. But regardless of if it does happen or not, you're going to have to overturn 21-point deficit from the first game of the season. and considering that the media are giving you no hope and the board may just sell players underneath you, because I can imagine a lot of the squad are going to be up for sale in the first place, especially those on the highest wages. I mean, 30,000, 20,000. I could see Tom Lawrence being sold on very, very early on. But I hope this gives you an idea of what to expect in a Derby County save. In fact, let's just take a quick look at the club info. I normally do this first, but considering how important the finances and the youth development squad was going to be, I figured that that was going to be the place to actually start. But as far as Derby County goes, as a club overall, they're one that's been sitting in the Championship for, about 15 years almost. And yeah, League One will probably beckon for you after the first season. But if you can keep them in the Championship, not only is that a fantastic job that you've done, and possibly one that Wayne Rooney may still do in real life, but it's assuming that you're out of a transfer embargo and out of administration, you then have a very good platform of which to then build the club up on, try and get into mid-table and eventually challenge for the playoffs and maybe even for promotion to the Premier League and get those sweet, sweet riches that will be coming your way. Facilities wise, Pride Park, which is their stadium, 33,500 seater, but just under 33,000 in normal matches. You'll get some good money coming in the door, assuming that you near fill out Pride Park each and every home game. But otherwise, you've got excellent training facilities, excellent youth facilities, which will be useful for bringing through youth players that you'll be focusing heavily on at the start of the save. They're in a good position. Well, I say sorry, good position. They do have good facilities. It's just a case of getting out of that transfer embargo, get out of administration, and then you can build the club from there. Youth players and transfers coming in and out will be very, very handy for you. But I hope this gives you a very good place and a very good idea of what to expect from Derby County. And I honestly wish you all the luck, especially in your first season. If you do get relegated, as long as you put up a good fight of it, you won't get sacked. But just be aware that in League One, you'll probably be expected to come straight back up. And if you do get a takeover early on in the save, you've got a good platform to try and build the squad. Up to finishing mid-table perhaps, or just avoid relegation, whichever one. Depends how far through the season that you already are. That happened to me in Wigan, and I got promoted off that in my first season, so who knows, the same thing may be able to happen for you. I hope this video has helped you out, and I hope it's given you some inspiration to hopefully bring Derby County back to their old glory days of the 1970s, even if it is a rocky start if you get relegated to League One. But regardless, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please make sure you hit the like button down below, smash the big red subscribe button so you don't miss future club guides and tournament simulations and the ongoing Unemployed to Legends series on the channel. But I thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, look after yourselves, and look forward to seeing you all in the next video.